Hello, friends, and happy Friday. How is everyone doing this evening? It's great to be here. Great for it to be Friday. Great to have a pipe. Great to see so many friends hanging out already. And I saw you guys 20 minutes ago when I started setting things up. So I really appreciate the early birds. So we got the furnace kicking on. It's cold here. We're going to get snow tomorrow, interestingly enough. And yes, Gordy, it is indeed Friday. Woo-hoo. And you know, anybody that tells you that once you retire, Friday's just another day is lying. Friday's still good. So let's see who we've got thus far assembled here in the big show. Can I scroll? There we go. So Phil Rivera, Gordy, David Bookshelf. Good to see you guys checking in early. There's David G. Has been. Good to see you, Has been. Enjoy that first pipe. Hope the surgery went well. Rush Fan 3, how are you, Patrick? Father Chris, checking in from Iowa. Always happy to see you, Father. And there's Steve Stazak. Hello, Steve. Possum and Pipe. Ghost Rider. Had a good week here, buddy. Hope you've had one too. There's Woody. And Texas Piper. How's it going, Eddie? Big Dave. Great to see you, Dave. Gary Edminster. Jeffrey Freinberg. Howdy, howdy. David Jenkins. Good to see you tonight. Jim Morrison. The Lizard King is here. How you doing, Jim? I hope somebody got that. Sigma Man Tony from Rhode Island. Hello, good to see you, Tony, the Smooth Piper. How's it going, Peter? The Urban Hermit. Haunted Bookshop in his Friday Savinelli tonight. Good to see you there, Everett. Gareth Hampton, howdy to you, sir. Ghost Cobb, how you doing there? Good to see you, buddy. James Steidel. George Tiedemann. Happy Friday indeed. Piper on the 45 and Life with a Pipe. I think we're caught up. There's Matthew Geis. Good to see you, Matthew. That's a full house tonight. Good to see so many folks. There's Sleepy Piper. Todd, how's it going, Todd? So, I don't know if I said it or not, but Haunted Bookshop in the Natchez Memorial Friday 7 LA, as is the tradition. And some days it's just good to have traditions. This is one of those days. Got another Nimrod. The Nimrod, I believe this is the commander. I always forget the names. I think this is the commander. Great lighters. Drive Fly Fisher 11. Good evening, sir. Good to see you. Cold in Florida, Matthew. That ain't right. Glad I didn't move there. Everything indeed, Woody. Indeed. There's Hard Crackers. How you doing, Ron? And Armchair Piper. Hello, Ed. Good to see you. Before I forget and fall way behind, there are special guests this evening. Yes, my old friend, Galen Lager is back. Went out to dinner last night with my wife. We have a every other week chiropractor appointment, and we tend to go out to dinner after that. And I had some wing dinner last night. But the place we like to go to, it's a really nice sort of sports pub kind of place. They have Monday through Thursday happy hour. And it goes till 6 o'clock, and you get, I think it's $1 off drafts. And they are great lighters, Big Dave. Thanks for confirming that it's the commander. Yeah, you get $1 off drafts, and all appetizers are half price. So, pretty good deal. So we used to go to the chiropractor at 6, but we actually changed our appointment to 5 so that we could take advantage of this happy hour. And we went last night and we got it's still good stuff, Matthew. It's still good stuff. Lukester, how you doing? Good to see you tonight. And Ochoita. Hello. So yeah, we actually changed our chiropractor appointment to take advantage of the happy hour, and we get two appetizers and a salad, and I get a beer, and everybody's happy. Well, except it turns out we didn't realize until we were leaving that they changed the rules now, and happy hour ends at 5. Yeah, so I guess there were too many people being happy. Doug Owen, how you doing, Doug? I certainly haven't tried them, but let me know if they're better, because then maybe I would try them. Doug's asking if anyone's tried the new versions of Seattle Pipe Club plum pudding or Mississippi Mud. Is it Mississippi Mud or Mississippi River? I don't know. Eric, the blue collar pipe smoker. Happy Friday there, Eric. Good to see you tonight. And there's Algonquin Breyer. Good evening. Ghost Cub, you getting snow out your way? Because you're usually predictive of you're about a day ahead of me in terms of weather. It's true, Doug. Happy hour should only be 1 hour, I guess. But it starts at 3. Lurker Troy, be careful driving on ice. My goodness. We'll be here when you get off the ice. So Phil likes the Mississippi River, or at least a well-aged tin of it. James Title's got Parsons Blend and Aroma Lucite. Nice. Bush Natural. Palm, good to see you tonight, my friend. Negative Life 3. I've seen a review of the new Cornell and Deal plum pudding. He said it was very close, according to Negative Life 3. Troy's a golfer. Is driving on ice a golf thing, Phil? I know very little about golf. Just the dusting. 18 degrees, my goodness. Non-alcoholic. Got you, James. Thank you. So I should have figured that out. I'm an idiot sometimes. I was surprised that based on the weather yesterday, I was looking at today and I thought it's going to rain and you might get a little bit of snow, but it's going to switch to rain and temperature's not going to be cold enough for it to be accumulating. But I just checked the weather right before starting here, and it said 1.5 inches tomorrow. So that changed quickly. Early flake number 2, Patrick. I envy you. I love that stuff. Driving off the tee. I get that. I just didn't know about the ice part, though. Everett says that Per Jensen's Harbor Dreams is great stuff. And he thanks Eric for the recommendation. Eric's a good guy. And he occasionally gets a good recommendation in there. 2 years of age on some haunted bookshop from Matthew. Yeah. I got to get some of the old stuff out soon. But I've got some that's got to be 15 years in the jar. Yes, we're double ghosting tonight, Pum. We got Ghost Rider and Ghost Cub. Phil, I won't dispute that you're a dork, but at least you're a dork that knows his golf terms. Oh, you've already got an inch. Okay. Got you, Ghost Cub. Cobb Rider, indeed. That would be a good addition, James. Carrie, how you doing, Carrie? Life with a Pipe's got some bosun cut plug and a legend top. Nice. Very nice. Well, Johnson's got some Irish Flake in his pipe. Irish Flake, another excellent blend. There's not much better than homemade French bread pizza, Carrie. I got some very fond memories of homemade French bread pizza. Texas Piper, bowl of 2012 Hato's Delight. That is good stuff. A 20-plus pound possum. That can wake you up there, Paul. The same thing we do every night, Phil. Ron has got Haunted Bookshop and a Dr. Graybo Starfire shaped 21 pickaxe Starfire with brushed finish. Nice. Those Starfires have the adjustomatic stem on them that you can't overclock, I think. Is that correct, Ron? And Steve's got McBaron's original choice in an old Whitehall. Nice. Rum Flake Ball. Good stuff. And Rooster's got Haunted Bookshop in a 673. A perfect combination. Yeah, I restored several of those Starfires, and I really like that mechanism. It's just cool. And you can usually get them to work. They bind up, but you can usually get them loosened up enough, and it's just really cool. I don't know why. Well, I guess because they just stopped doing the screw-in tenons, but that's an interesting combination there, Negative Life. Haunted Bookshop with white burley and a pinch of Cold Blood Red Moon. And he thinks there was a bit of Stanwell vanilla in the jar, too. He's got it in his crown jewel. Fantastic. I don't recall K. Woody or Yellowbow. I think it was a Graybow exclusive thing, Phil, but I could be wrong. Poem, that does not sound good at all. Straight vermouth. I don't like it when the vermouth bottle gets too close to my martini, let alone drink it straight. Yep. I've been adjusting pretty well, Algonquin Bar. I think. I mean, you might want to ask my wife if you want the truth, but no, I've been having a good time. I'm still doing what I call work every morning, every weekday morning. I spend about an hour or two just. I'm doing some writing and some obligations I have with journals and things like that. I have been talking back and forth with two different universities about some teaching type things, and by talking back and forth, I don't mean negotiating. I just mean figuring out what courses I'm going to teach and when and things like that. And I got to put those courses together and all. So I'm keeping busy. I'm keeping busy. I'm keeping my mind busy, and I do that for an hour or two, and then it just goes away, which is really nice. And if I don't want to do it tomorrow, well, I don't do it tomorrow. But if Monday comes and I'm not in the mood, I can just not do it. So Master Poe, happy Friday to you, sir. So are we now arguing over whether or not vermouth is wine? I'm sorry, Poem, but I just don't like vermouth. I don't think I could drink it straight. I'm sure it's for some people it's wonderful, but not for me. You know what's funny, Eddie? I get why you're asking if the number of pipe balls has increased, but actually, there are days when it's decreased quite a bit. Like yesterday, I think I had three, um, and I almost only had one. I fell asleep after dinner. Oh, never mind, don't count. Okay, I take back what I said then. You're right, Algonquin Brian. I'm now the CEO of Fortune Nothing Company, but that's okay. If you add sugar and reduce whiskey to a syrup, is it still whiskey? No, it's a whiskey reduction. You know, Doug, there's something special about teaching people that actually care about what you're teaching. So, I can imagine you say dental related, so it probably wasn't that he was teaching like he didn't go to dental school and teach, but he's probably was teaching people that were genuinely interested, and that's a lot of fun. Oh, thank you, Pom. I appreciate you noticing. Now, Eddie, there are days when it's probably more too, so I'm guessing it averages out to about the same. Curious Assortment, welcome. Good to see you this evening. Well, Troy, he is launching some Russian satellites, so I guess we should assume. Eric says there's a great movie on Tubi called Never Cry Wolf about a scientist studying wolves in the Arctic. Lots of pipe smoking in it. Oh, I'll have to look for that, Eric. I've been watching quite a bit of Tubi. I'm glad it's you noticed it, Bill. I didn't, but I'm glad it is noticeable. That's great. Pipe jockey, hello. I haven't worn a watch in a long time, Cypress Piper, but all going well. I understood palpable, Phil. That's interesting poem. Yeah, I think our diet has actually improved since I retired. Because I'm cooking some. Not that my wife is a bad cook, but I pick up some of the slack, and she doesn't have to put as much energy into it, so it lets us both put more energy than usual. Woody, we got to stop matching up like that. We should probably check in with one another before the show. Dan Falcone, welcome. I will definitely have to check out Never Cry Wolf. Thank you, Doug, and thank you, Eric. What is healthier? Good question, Troy. Well, tonight for dinner, but we usually have this on Friday. We had baked fish, rice, and peas. We don't always have peas, but tonight was peas. So, but we would eat out a lot during the week just because, we were both busy and dinner didn't happen. Now we're probably only eating out a couple times a month. Not this sleeper, Phil. Didn't Farley Mowat write the book Never Cry Wolf? I have no idea. Everett, but maybe somebody else will know. So I watched Tubi this past week. I watched a movie that I had never seen before that I was expecting to be bad. And yeah, Eddie, I know, and that's probably for the best. Probably for the best. The Eagles fired their OC. I don't know, just some odd play calling this year that. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. I'm just ready for spring training. What was I talking about? Oh, movie. I was expecting this movie to be bad based on everything I heard. I've never seen it, and it's an older movie, and it is The Fifth Element. Yes, it's a Bruce Willis movie, and it's not a Christmas movie, by the way. Just get that out of the way. Turns out he's never been in a Christmas movie, I don't think. Watch somebody prove me wrong. But I kind of enjoyed The Fifth Element. I mean, it wasn't great film. It wasn't the best sci-fi. It had some parts that were goofy, but I enjoyed the action in it. It was kind of fun. I'm not saying that it's even in my top 50 films, but I enjoyed it. So that was kind of a nice surprise because I was expecting it to be awful. Curious Assortment's excitement for the week. Got a Wally prank and promptly broke it. Oh no. Replaced the stem with generic acrylic. I'm glad you enjoyed. Thank you for saying that, Assortment. If the lights are dimmed, it's not. There you go. Yeah, it was a fun movie, James. I think that's exactly what I'm going for here. And so after watching that and being a little, pleasantly surprised at the quality of it, but a little disappointed because I was expecting like a bad B movie kind of experience, I went looking and I found out that on Chromecast and probably Roku and any other of the things that you can do this on, there's an app called B Movie Club. And you can pay for it and get access to some things, but and it's supposed to have commercials. I haven't seen a commercial yet. But it's a nice collection of bad B movies. And they even have them divided up by decades. So you can go all the way back to the 20s, actually. There's a silent film there that is one of the locked ones because it looks like it might be a little racy. Hazard Borden, good evening to you. Well, I didn't know there was mouse eating in Never Cry Wolf. Nope, that one hasn't come across my radar yet, David. So anyway, this B Movie Club is pretty cool. And what did I watch first on that? I cannot remember. Oh, darn it. It'll come to me. But I watched Bela Lugosi Meets the Brooklyn Gorilla, which is a great, if you're into that kind of movie, it's great. Sure thing, Eric. I will try to watch it this weekend and let you know. Although the mouse eating thing has got me a little creeped out now. Anyway, the movie that I wanted to tell you about was a movie. I think it was in 1991 or two film, which is simply titled Moon. And I'm not going to remember anybody that was in it except Kevin Spacey was the voice of the computer. I remember that. It was a really interesting movie. Um, it's about a guy who has a 3-year contract to work at a mining facility on the moon, and he's the only person there. He's there with the computer. And at the end of his shift, which is coming up in a few weeks, he discovers something. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't want to give anything away in case you do want to see it. But man, I enjoyed that movie. That one was it was well done. It was a little predictable after the sort of discovery was made. It was a little predictable where it was going. The ending surprised me though. Well, if it's brief and hilarious, I'll watch it, Doug. I can handle brief mouse eating. I have a real disdain for mice. I worked with mice and rats for most of my career, and a rat, you. Okay, I know everybody thinks of like sewer rats and stuff, but a rat that's been not domesticated, but caged and kept indoors and everything, they become almost like dogs, and they'll recognize you. They'll come to you if you put your hand in the cage. They'll let you scratch behind their ear and stuff. They really do become almost like pets. Whereas mice, just you put your hand in the cage, they'll run across the cage to bite you. Oh, the Farrah Fawcett Kirk Douglas one, was it Saturn something? Where they're in the space station? Iron Eagle's a good one, Casey, yes. The chat does move quick sometimes, Pipe Jockey, and I miss a lot because of that. So uh, I do not control the height of the flame. I forget who that was commenting on the side of the flame, but Hey Chad, how you doing tonight? And Casey Guthrie, good to see you. What was the full name of it, Phil? It was Saturn something. It was a ridiculous movie. And this movie, Moon, feels like that movie, actually, now that you bring it up. It feels a lot like that movie. Um, oh yeah, the what's his name? I can't remember the actor's name now, but he shows up on the space station and builds a giant robot and tries to kill them. It's a very strange movie. Todd Munson, good evening. I'm actually going to write down Never Cry Wolf, so I don't forget. Of course, now I just have a piece of paper with Never Cry Wolf written on it, and I won't know what that means. But you definitely want to shave your mice before putting them in a stew. Saturn 3, thank you, Possum and Pipe. Tasman, split second with Rutger Hauer. I don't think I've seen that. I've seen a lot of Rutger Hauer, though. He's been in some real doozies. Shadow of Chernobyl. That's a sounds interesting, Phil. I'm not familiar with that or the game series. Oh, you know what, Carrie? That's brilliant. I'm gonna write the word movie. Why, I didn't think of that. Oh, Possum and Pipe. I love Godzilla. I think the original Godzilla it's in my top five movies, no question about it. I watch that at least once a year. Stalker. These are actually Russian films in Russian, Phil, like with subtitles and such. Barbarella. Oh my goodness, Goldilocks. Yes, a classic indeed. And the inspiration for Duran Duran. Add Tubi to the note, yes. Okay, I'm going to write that down too. Russian film Stalker. Mouse sous vide. Oh, Eric. Yes, that Matthew Broderick film is best forgotten, Carrie. So when you guys think about the original Godzilla, there's two versions of it. There's the one with Raymond Burr, which is excellent, and for years I thought that that was the original. They did such a good job of splicing Raymond Burr into that film that I just very rarely would. I and to this day I watch it and I just forget that he was added after. Um, But if you get a chance, watch the original Godzilla in Japanese with subtitles. It's a completely different movie, and it's really fantastic. Oh, okay, Phil. I've seen a channel like that that does Chinese dramas, which is kind of interesting. So there's a channel that just does Russian films. I'm sad to say I did see Popeye the Slayer Man, Steve. Godzilla versus Megalon, yes. Muletown's March 6th. Oh my goodness. It's creeping up quick. Mouse fricassee. Fricassee. My French is showing. Mouse mouche. There you go. You're saying Jane Fonda was an embarrassment in Barbarella. I got to tell you, I think that Barbarella is the best thing Jane Fonda ever did. It was all downhill. Oh man, seeing that in Japan must have been an experience, Carrie. Because when you understand the time and everything, it's it's really a very different movie with a very different message, and I'm sure that the Japanese see it very differently than we do. Well, I will definitely have to watch some of those, Phil. Leave Raymond Burr's personal life out of this, Doug. Never read that, James. It's been on my want to read list since I was in high school, but actually never got around to it. You're getting closer, Phil. I know who you mean. I think it's Akira. I think. I don't know if it was Americans as much as just the threat of nuclear holocaust, possum and pipe, but it definitely was related to the war. Creator of the boundless universe, asking if there's any Game of Thrones fan. I can honestly say that I have seen 0 milliseconds of Game of Thrones. I was annoyed by its popularity and never watched it. That country pipe, good evening. Is this lighter also offensive, Palm? I don't know what I don't know why. I think it's the camera. I think the camera makes the flame look bigger. I've had a lot of people say that, Ochoita, but I still have zero interest. I watched one episode of Yellowstone. Someone on here strongly suggested Yellowstone to me, to the point where they were like mad at me if I didn't watch it. And oh wait, I gotta scroll back because I gotta deal with Eric here. Um, so I said, okay, I'll watch it. I watched one episode and I was just disturbed by it. I mean, it was almost pornographic. I was really, yeah, did not like Yellowstone. Let's see. So Eric says hopes to see me in Milltown. I hope you got good use out of that, Eric. I'm not reading that out loud. The camera is lacking lux. Could be. Maybe I need to put a filter on. Everett, that's called the Pipe Rim's Revenge. I don't think I will load 79. Yeah, I mean, Yellowstone, it just seemed gratuitous and I don't know. I did, and maybe you'd say, well, if you would have watched two or three episodes, maybe. But Casey Guthrie, I have still not done anything else with the Fuji. I'm looking forward to it, but haven't had a chance to do anything else with it. It is an excellent group, Pipe Jockey. I'm glad you're here. Oh, they're all excellent, Goldilocks. All the Sherlock Holmes series, except for that elementary thing. That wasn't very good. Phil, that's exactly it. You captured my problem with it. You don't mind when there's that kind of obnoxious stuff if it's like a single person and they're singled out, they're sort of on the edge, maybe they're the villain or whatever. But when it's just everyday normal life for everyone, it paints a picture of reality that I don't think is accurate and certainly not one I want to live in. That's an interesting suggestion there, Texas Piper. I've not heard of that. I don't even know if we have HBO. We probably do. My wife's got to subscribe to everything. Getting you are getting poetic, Phil. I think might mean full of eggs. I actually remember seeing young Sherlock Holmes in the theater. It was one of the movies I went to with a bunch of my neighborhood friends. Was goofy. It was fun though. I've seen several versions of Hound of the Baskervilles, and they've all been good. Excellent choice, Lukester. And you know, I've got a real affection for Hound of the Baskervilles because when I was a kid, very young, I mean, I was probably 8 years old at the most. My parents bought me this. I don't know how else to explain it other than it was a children's version of Hound of the Baskervilles. It was like a picture book, but it would have like 3 pages of text and then a picture, and then 3 pages of text and a picture. They were paintings, or graphic, cartoon sort of ish things, but very realistic cartoons. And that was my first introduction to Sherlock Holmes, and I to this day I'm a huge fan of Conan Doyle and all the versions of Sherlock Holmes, and I can trace it back to that one book. It was probably only like, I don't know, 50 pages long or something. All right, Casey Guthrie, thanks for joining us tonight. You have a great weekend, buddy. I don't remember anybody smoking a pipe in Playboy magazine, Paul. Really, James? I I can picture it so vividly. I can see the cover of it. Very bright colors. I think Jeremy Brett actually got into that role a little too much, but he was Conan Doyle's character come to life, no question about it. Oh, what was the name of that publication, Phil? Yeah, yeah. Conan Doyle used to write them as shorts, like chapter by chapter. Strand. Yes, thank you, James. I know you Hefner smoked pipes. It's just that Poem was saying that the reason why. Oh, never mind. I'll tell you this: if the Playmates had pipes, it would have done wonders for pipe smoking. It would still be as common today as it was in the 50s. Is that? I thought he did that on stage, Doug. Is that actually a film? The My Fair Lady. You know, Mark, that's one of the great things about Sherlock Holmes is that you can enjoy it at many different levels. I mean, you could just watch it and be happy with the movies, or you can read it and just read it like a any other story, or you can really get into it and dive in deep and look for connections between the stories and threads that run through them and stuff. And it's just there's just so much there. Poem being poem. There you go. Occasional Clay Piper has just finished a bowl of Freeborg and Trier Golden Mixture in a Merchant Service Standard. Very nice. Hey, Couch, how you doing, buddy? Crazy, glad your crazy night's over. At least I hope it's over. All's well here, my friend. I hope you're well. Daniel Leslie, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Well, Peter, I think you win tonight because I'm done. The Haunted Bookshop has come to an end. And the beer is lagging well behind. At least the can's empty now. In case you missed earlier, it is a Yingling Lager tonight. Let's empty out the 7-Ellie. And we'll rest for a minute before we move on. Daniel just lit a bowl of 10 Russians in his 320 KS. Very nice. And Mark's got a bowl of Germain's Rich Dark Flake. Cool. Patrick's got 5 brothers in his Friday 7-Ellie. Yeah, knowing Conan Doyle's interest in occult might be too strong a word, but I don't think he and Houdini could have stayed friends for long, James. Because Houdini was really anti-psychic, anti-seance. We tied. All right, Peter. I'm getting better, or you're getting worse. Bona Piper. Hello, Christian. Good to see you, my friend. Oh, Eddie, I've got plans, but no promises at this point. But yeah, I really want to do some more hands-on type stuff. Some more pipe restorations, maybe some other stuff. But we'll see. Got to add another one to the... Okay. Okay, Phil, I'll write it down. Is that a new one? My wife and I just started a new BBC series. It's on Ovation, but I think we can also get it on BritBox. And it's called George something or the other. Isn't that useful? It's about an Irish detective named George something or the other. Bona Piper's got a bowl of Union Square going. Very nice. And Houdini did have a life, yes. I didn't know that about the tinderbox, Doug. That's interesting. And yet, you know, the church warden was non-canonical, but my goodness, he used it to effect. I think he had to have the church warden because of how many times he used it as a pointer and just a gesture, and it worked perfectly. Just the way old what's-his-name used the calabash, which I've forgotten his name again. Smooth Piper's going with oily golden slice and a Nording freehand called the Tiger. Nice. Ah, yes, he was very close to his mother. That makes a lot of sense, James. Oh, that would be a huge mistake, James. Yeah. I mean, the English you might be able to explain away, but the cross doesn't, that wouldn't work. Yeah. No, there's actually only, so in the books, in the Conan Doyle stories, there's only two pipes that Holmes has ever, no, there's three pipes that Holmes has ever described as smoking. Um, there's a black clay, there's a cherry wood, and I believe there's also a poker. I might be wrong about that. It might only be two, now that I'm thinking of it. I don't like meerschaum pipes, Daniel, but the only reason I don't like them is that I just really like briar pipes. I don't see the point of meerschaum. But that's just me. I know a lot of people love them. Yeah, the calabash was chosen by the guy whose name I can never remember because he was afraid that it was the only, well, he believed it was the best pipe that could be seen by the audience. You knew Hacker, Doug. That's really cool. He's still alive, isn't he? I think I saw something recently about him or from him. All right, time for pipe number two. For pipe number two, we are going to go with the tobacco of the month. This is GLP's Telegraph Hill. Really enjoying this. I don't think I'm going to talk about it this Sunday, but next Sunday I'll do an in-depth impressions on this. It's good stuff though. Dave, coming in from Canada. Good to see you. Oh, we're still brothers, Dave. Big Dave, there's a lot of Daves here. Big Dave, all it says is a cherry wood. It might have been a ROP. It might have been a cherry wood shape. I don't know. William Gillette. Thank you, Doug. I can never remember William Gillette. So for Telegraph Hill tonight, we've got CaneRod Pipes number 5, which is the one that I tried what I'm calling the Danish style drilling, maybe European style drilling. And you know, it smokes just fine. It's a little bit different, but once you get used to it, once the pipe's broken in, you know the pipe and you know how to smoke it. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Over 2,000, my goodness, Doug. But you could argue, Bona Piper, that in the afterlife there is no language, like all languages are, you know, you're no longer under the curse of the Tower of Babel, and you can understand all languages, so you could speak any language. You could argue that, but couldn't argue that they would start putting a cross at the top of the page if they were Jewish. That would be a little bit harder to explain away. I tend to agree, Phil, but it's been so long since I've looked into this. I think the ROP factory may have not existed at the time. I for some reason think that ROP was more like a 19. Well, they were certainly around during the First World War, but I don't think they were around like in 1890, 1895, which was when Conan Doyle was writing. So that's the reason why I'm not sure. I don't know if he smoked a pipe, James. I would imagine he did. I mean, it's so well worked into the stories that it seems like he did, and it was pretty common. So Steve Stazak's moving on to Bothy Flake and his Sherlock Holmes. Very nice. So there was a third pipe listed as a briar, but I guess the place where I get confused, Doug, is I am not sure if the cherry wood is a pipe made of cherry wood or if it's the cherry wood shape. If it's the cherry wood shape, it could be the briar, and therefore it would only be two. So Dry Fly Fisher's got some Bob's Chocolate Flake. Got to get one of my tins of that out. Ah, okay. Thank you, Patrick. So Rob patented the cherry wood in 1869. That's well within the time frame that we're talking about. So yeah, then the Holmes cherry wood could have very well been a Rob or a knockoff. I don't think anyone knows the true origin of the church warden, Daniel. The story that I heard is that it was with the church, the sextons would smoke during the mass because they could hang it out the window, but that doesn't really make sense because most of the smoke is coming from your mouth, not the bowl of the pipe. So I don't know. Yes, you got to save up the dottle on the mantelpiece, and don't forget to keep your tobacco in a Persian slipper. Very important. So you think the old briar is a different pipe than the cherry wood? Is that what you're saying, Doug? I suppose it could be, but they're never referred to simultaneously. His pipe rack is never described, I guess is the problem. Yes, Doug. And isn't Rathbone smoking a Peterson in this? That is a good name for a tobacco hazard, Gordon. You have to let us know how that goes. Yeah, it is kind of silly, Christian. Absolutely. All right, Life with the Pipe. Thanks for joining us tonight. You have a great weekend too, buddy. What are we doing on time here? Ah, we're good. We're good. I need to get a big giant clock so I don't have to do that. Well, James, usually I have Patrick helps me out when it gets too short, but I like to know a little bit earlier than that, just because I have to drink a lot of beer. That's an interesting one, Piper on the 45. I've never heard that version of the church warden story. Ah, so it wasn't Peterson in the first two movies. Okay, Doug. I just smoke what I like, Daniel. I don't think about it that much, to be honest. Everything changes. As it should. Definitely at the Asbestos Cup Calabash, though. Definitely. Daniel, I think it's hard to quantify. First off, what do you call an artisan? What is an artisan pipe maker? I think that's a person sitting by himself making a pipe. So if there's more than one person, in my opinion, if there's more than one person involved, it's not an artisan pipe, it's a factory pipe. I know there's people that'll bristle at that, but that's just my opinion. There's probably more individual pipe makers, but there were probably a lot of pipe makers that weren't known outside of their, local shop or whatever. So it's really hard to put a number to that kind of thing. James, that's funny. That's really funny. Do we know that for a fact, Phil? I mean, there, there was a time when a guy would just whittle a pipe out of whatever was available, or would grab a corn cob and make a pipe. I mean, I think maybe more people are calling themselves pipe makers today, but I think people have always made pipes for as long as pipes have been a thing. Depends on who you ask, Daniel. I personally believe that Costello is a factory pipe, and people get really mad at me when I say that, but that's my definition. Phil, you are the most anomalously anonymous person I know. Oath 79, Five Brothers is a great blend. I mean, a lot of us just enjoy it by itself, but you're right, it can definitely add a little punch to some other blends. Yeah, I'm glad you fixed that, Phil. Good point, Gary. Native Americans they're still making their own pipes. A very good point. And Ghost Rider, thank you for agreeing, but it's not that there's anything wrong with Costello being a factory. I'm not saying that they're low quality or anything. I just think you need to draw a line somewhere. And when I think of an artisan, I think of it as a person that does something, not as a group of people that do something. And somebody will come along with an example that'll make that irrelevant, but that's my belief. There we go, Patrick. Where did the time go indeed? We almost got a song going there, Texas Piper. If they were working under the same roof, but they were each producing their own pipes and not like switching off, like I'll do the stummels, you do the stems, then I think you could call each one of them an artisan. It's not semantics, though. If there's more than one pair of hands working on the pipe, that becomes a factor. I would agree with that, James. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it is literally just my opinion. You notice that, Paul? I think Patrick does it for that reason. Well, that sounds interesting, Goldilocks. 8 ounces big and burly with 2 ounces of Maltese Falcon. It's funny, I don't like big and burly because of the Latakia. Yet I do like Maltese Falcon. Okay, Hard Crackers has finished his iced tea and switched to Shiner Hill Country Peach Wheat, one of their seasonal beers, and he's smoking Daughters and Ryan two-timer in a bent Dublin 7LA dry system pipe. Ah, he does that just to see if I can read it before it scrolls off the screen. It was close this time, Ron. It's just one line left. I got you, Lurker Troy. That took me a minute to process, but yes, Virgin Black Russian. That's funny. Who needs producers when you got those guys, Paul Johnson? That Carolina Red Flake is good stuff, Eddie. Yeah. There you go, Christian. Yeah. That is the best way to know it's ready. That's not a McClellan blend, Daniel. That's Cornell and Deal Sunday Picnic. And it's very good. Yeah, that really is the bottom line, as Phil and Paul are saying. You know, if you like what you're doing it right. That's all that matters. do what you enjoy. And if you don't know what you enjoy and you're trying to find out what pipe I should buy first, get a straight briar poker that passes a pipe cleaner. You can't go wrong with that. And go cheap. If you can find a brick and mortar that has basket pipes, or get a Rossi or something like that, but just get a straight poker, make sure it passes a pipe cleaner, you'll be happy. And you can branch out from there once you understand that pipe. Exactly, Eddie. Exactly. That's interesting, Dr. Bob. They must be a factory second or something at that price. Peretti Virgin Deluxe Briar? Anyone ever come across one of those? That would be interesting to know, Bona Piper. It'd be very interesting to know. Pipe smokers who smoke for a year or two versus smoking for many years, or even smoke for a week or two versus many years. One ounce of tobacco? My goodness, Phil, that's a big chamber. You have a boring bar for that. Good evening, Bad Dad. You can't be late, but you're just in time. You know, David, I've thought a lot about the question of what tobacco to recommend, and I think I've come down to thinking that the best thing to do is to get 3 samples at least. You know, get yourself a Burley Virginia sort of blend, get an English Balkan sort of blend, and get an aromatic, a good quality aromatic, if it's your first time, because you're probably going to like one of those. If you don't like any of those, you're probably not going to like pipe smoking. And we are almost done with this. We are almost out of time, and we are almost out of beer, so everything's coming together perfectly. You too, Dan. Thanks for stopping by tonight. Yeah, I think the lack of YouTube videos really made it a lot harder, Christian. Although now the truth is there's so many opinions on YouTube that I think it might be harder as well. Yeah, because really you need to discover it for yourself. And I've talked about this before. You know, nobody can tell you what to do. You can get guidance, you can get pointed in the right direction, but you need to find the path yourself. So YouTube may be a hindrance as well. Well, this is out and done. And I think we will begin to shut it down here, guys. So I want to thank you for joining me tonight. It was a lot of fun, as it always is, and I got some good movie recommendations. So hopefully I will watch at least one of those before I see y'all next week, and we can chat about that. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm apparently going to be moving some snow tomorrow, but yeah, such is life. I can move a little snow. So it's not 3 foot, I'm happy. And it's only going to be about 1.5 inches, so not bad. So with that, I'll be back on Sunday with something or the other. I don't know what. And we'll be back next Friday with more of this fine entertainment. So with that, my friends, I wish you all the best. I hope you have a great weekend and fantastic week ahead. And we'll see you all next week. Take care, everybody.